We'll see if we have the chipmunk voice or not. We've had it here recently. It made an appearance even as recently as yesterday. We had a little bit of the chipmunk voice. Trying to find it here on my broadcast. There it is. And let's see what we have. Looks like we don't. We don't have the chipmunk voice today. I swear, I played with the white balance a little more on this camera. I can't get this white balance to work. This shirt is a little more yellow than it's appearing in this, and the gold is certainly more yellow than it's appearing on the monitor, but I just can't seem to get the white balance right, folks. And let's see. I've got an auto white balance now because I tried a custom white balance. That didn't work. Now I'm trying auto. That isn't working, so I'm just going to have to play around with it some more. My apologies. Ken is in the house, and he says he's the first one here. Stig says, good evening to Craig from the socialist state of Maryland, from another socialist state in the old world, and hello to you all. There you go. And Lance is in the house. He says hello to everybody. Eduardo says hello. Leon says hello to Comrade Stig. Let's see. Yeah, Lance says no chipmunk. Buserv, is that really how you spell deployant with that accent over the E? That's a good question. I just copied and pasted that from somewhere. I think that is normally there, but that's a good question. Lance, do you have a picture of that date just that you want? Yes, send me an email and we'll take a look at that. He's always willing to send emails. Blue says good day and hello, Craig. And by the way, speaking of emails, I got an email on an interesting strap alternative to a NATO that Dave sent. So I'm going to pull that up here in a little while, hopefully, if I remember, and because it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I think I'll stick with the factory alligator strap, and we're going to talk about this. This is part 3 because I got some new information. And we are always into getting all the information and getting deep into a subject. Looks like Craig's other watches are being rejected. There's the 231 Stunner on the left and the 005. Now, I did wear the 231 most of the day today because I went for a long hike, and I did wear that out in the woods. Let's see. No disrespect at all, Lance. At some point, I may consider buying a Vostok watch. Okay. Might want to pull back on that. Okay, so let's get into it. Triforce Rich is in the house, so we can get started. We've been waiting on Triforce Rich. He's here. We can get started. So now, on the alligator versus crocodile situation, let me see if I can pull up the email. Do a quick time check while I'm doing this. Let's see here. How come it's not showing here? Oh, here it is. Here it is. I got it. I got it, my friends. So we're going to open this one. And we're going to open this one. And I did put some links in the description of the video, so you can check it out. And let's go to this one here. Okay. So this first link, this is talks about crocodile versus alligator. And it basically gives you the preference as far as quality of these leathers. And you can see here, number 1 is American alligator. Number 2 is saltwater crocodile. Number 3 is freshwater crocodile. And number 4 is caiman. And the caiman leather is really subpar. It really drops down when you get into the caiman leather. And then here's another website that I checked out that gives some information about the difference between the leathers and how to tell. And again, here they're kind of rating the quality: American alligator, saltwater crocodile, freshwater crocodile, and then caiman. as far as the costs of the hides and the quality for leather working. And then it goes through some of the details about the leathers. Now, here's what I found out. And I'm pretty sure of all of this, but not 100% sure of any of this, but pretty sure. I'm very sure that American alligator leather is generally preferred because it is generally more expensive hides. And like, for example, when I got my Lucchese boots made, mine are saltwater croc. Back in the day, that was easier to get, and so it wasn't terribly expensive. It's a little harder to get now, so it's more expensive. But those two are pretty close, and I think American alligator is a little bit better. I just liked the look of the saltwater croc hide, so and I'll show you those here in a minute. But nowadays it's much harder to get the saltwater croc, from what I understand, and it's expensive. So most leather workers, if they're going to make something out of a crocodilian hide, they're going to choose American alligator. Would be the first choice for a lot of reasons. So I looked very closely on this one. You're supposed to be able to tell if you look at the scales. If it's crocodile, it will have a little tiny hole in each scale where there used to be a hair. The crocodile has little hairs growing out of each scale as like a sensor. When it rubs up against things, it's like a sensing device. And the alligators don't have that. So if you see the hide and it's got that little tiny hole, then that tells you what the deal is. And I think I have a picture here that I can bring up to kind of show you. Now, the other thing, if you're getting the entire hide, the alligator leather has this umbilical scars, these umbilical scars you see there on that green, dark green picture of the scales. You see in the middle that like pattern that is there? That is only on alligator hide. So if you see that, then it's genuine alligator. And they talk about pliability. Pliability and durability are what makes the alligator a superior and classic leather. Alligator and crocodile leathers are pliable. Cayman have bony plates in the skin, which dramatically decreases the pliability of the leather. Okay, so that's why they'll be more likely to split and things like that. Then it talks about, again, some ways that you can identify what is what. And there is a link in the description of this video that goes into, shows you all of that. And here is the ISO pore, they call it. It's a intragumentary sensory organ pore on the crocodile. So if the scale, see how each one of those scales has that little hole. So if that little hole is in it, then that's telling you that it is crocodile. Okay? Because alligator doesn't have that. So some interesting stuff here on how you can tell what is what. Let's see. I thought the way to tell the difference between alligator and crocodile is that one, we'll see you later, and the other we'll see you after a while. Lance says, Craig, I sent you a picture of the date just that I want. Okay. New to the channel Saturday. Concerned about a second day of strap talk yesterday. Might not be able to do 3 days in a row, Willie, in the house. Well, sometimes we have to dig deep into these subject matters to really get it all done. And so, yeah, if there's something else you want to talk about, though, bring it up in the chat. We have been known to be sidelined. Stig's in the house. If you have a day date and know how to drive a car with a manual gearbox, you have all that it takes to lay a woman at your feet. Well, there you go. Why is it harder to get these leathers because of all those tree huggers? Maybe. I don't know. Actually, it's a lot easier to get them now than it used to be. They were outlawed for a time here in the U.S. In the U.S., they couldn't even farm raise them, and so you couldn't do it, period. And now, of course, California, I think, haven't they outlawed them? Somebody said that if you buy a Grand Seiko with a leather strap in California, you can't get the alligator. They call it crocodile, by the way, and that's another thing we're going to talk about. I'm pretty sure they're alligator straps, and they're calling them crocodile, so they don't have a clue. But anyway, I understand you can't get them at all in California. So there's that. Willie, it's day 200 of quarantine. I've watched pretty everything from YouTube to Prime Video. I need this. The Mighty Rat, just watch an Archie video in which he raged about the Day-Date 36, saying it was tacky. In the same video, he swigged cola from a bottle and told everybody how much credit card was outstanding on his PP. There you go. Okay. All right, so let's look at some leather here. Here is a I believe this is crocodile. I mean alligator. I'm sorry. Let me look here. We'll see what they say. Genuine. No. See, this is Cayman. So this is interesting. So this is going to show you that this has much finer scales. I'll give you a close-up here. This has a lot of finer, some smaller scales, and a little bit more haphazard. So the pattern is a lot different. Now this was originally sold at Saks Fifth Avenue. This belt was made in Italy. But this is Cayman leather, which is really a lower quality choice than either alligator or crocodile. This is like the bottom of the food chain. Okay? So that's Cayman. I think that's the only one I have of that. Now here, this one doesn't say. And as a matter of fact, this one has some bigger scales and then some small scales too. I think this is Cayman. I think this one is Cayman also. This has a different buckle on it. I think this one is Cayman also. Okay? So two black belts, both of them Cayman. Then, let's go to the alligator. This I know is alligator. All right. And this says American Alligator right on the back. And this was originally sold by Johnson & Murphy. This is probably 20 or 30 years old. Still in pretty good shape. And this has pretty good sized scales. And clearly you can look at the scales and there are no holes in any of them. Actually, it's really hard to tell in that shot, but basically each scale is just the scale intact, and there doesn't have that little pinhole in it from that hair that was coming out of it, right? So there's that, and let's see. Here's another one. This one also was sold new at Saks Fifth Avenue. Bought this one new at Saks Fifth Avenue, and this is also made in Italy. And this is also Cayman. This is Cayman, okay? So this is Cayman. And this one actually held up pretty good for many, many years. It held up pretty good. It did get a split right here, and I did a little repair on it, but it still functions. But I wore this a lot, for many, many years. And this is Cayman. I didn't know this. I didn't know I had as many Cayman ones as I have. And let's see what this last one is. Here's a last one that is brown. And this one, given the pattern, this one might be Cayman also. Let's see what this says. Huh, got more Cayman than I thought. No, this one says American Alligator, genuine American Alligator. So clearly you can have the bigger scales, which it has here, and there's no holes. So yeah, this is telling me that this is not crocodile, obviously, but then it also has the smaller scales, so I guess it depends on what part of the hide that comes from. But this one is says Alligator right on it. So there you go. So okay. Lance, Craig lost it, folks. He thinks he's Crocodile Dundee. That's why I'm wearing the safari shirt, because I figured I was going to be talking about crocodiles, right? Do you have something made of leather that Indiana Jones also owned that you use on Tudor owners? Yes, I have a bullwhip made of kangaroo leather, but we're not going to show that right now. Crocodile Craig in the house. If his GS came on an ostrich trap, we would be talking about the ratio of ostrich eggs to their butts for 5 episodes straight. Triforce Rich, absolutely we would. There's a method to my madness. I'm headed somewhere with this. Give me some time. I'm headed somewhere with all this. Try Craig has a knife. Craig, what do you think about lizard leather? It doesn't hold up very well. My experience with lizard, and I had some lizard watch straps back in the day. They don't hold up worth a darn. I can tell you that right now. And lizard boots, no, they don't hold up. It's not the way to go. Speaking of boots, so here are the Lucchese's. And these, yes, if I look very close, you won't be able to see them, but on each one of these little square scales here, there's a little pinhole in the upper right hand corner, a little pinhole that I can see on some of them, and it's sealed up from the tanning, but it is there. You can notice it if you look very, very close. So this is saltwater croc, is what this leather is. And it's held up exceptionally well. These boots are at least 30 years old. I'd have to figure when I ordered these things, but I think it's been 30 years ago now. But they're I take good care of them, and they're holding up very well. I used to rotate these with 3 different pairs of boots. Now I'm down to 2 pairs. I've got this pair and an ostrich pair. Well, actually I have 3 pairs, but of exotic leathers, I've got this and ostrich, and then I've got a pair that are just like cowhide or whatever that aren't exotic. I used to have a pair of Nakoma boots that were sea turtle, and they just weren't as comfortable as the Lucchese's, so I just didn't wear them that much, so I ended up selling them. I probably shouldn't have, because those are virtually impossible to get. Those have been outlawed completely, and they're virtually impossible to get, so I probably should have kept them, but I just wasn't wearing them, so why do you keep them if you're not wearing them? Craig, on Safari, are your DuPont pins ballpoint or fountain? I've answered that 15 times. They're ballpoint. Lance, stick to quality. We aren't dealing with crap leather here. Triforce Rich in the house. I always buy Elephant for my wallets. There you go. Elephant is a good bet. Absolutely. My wallet is Alligator, but yeah, Elephant. I'd like to get a pair of elephant hide boots actually at some point, but we'll see about all that. Leon's in the house. Didn't all the 1980s hair metal bands wear either lizard boots or dyed snakes? And see, snakeskin also doesn't hold up very well for leather, goods. I guess I was absent those 15 times. There you go. Okay, so here's where I was headed with all this. David sent me a link, and let me see if I can pull it up here, to a video about some pretty cool straps. Oh, first let's show the date just. Let's show Lance's date just. Okay. I mean, that's a nice piece, but I really would rather see you get the Jubilee bracelet. I'd really rather see you get that watch with the Jubilee. I think that would be a permanent, absolute keeper with a Jubilee. Okay, so that's my take on that. Let's see here. I want to find, here we go. These Perlon straps. This is really interesting. Let me pull this video up. Just give me a second here, and I'll cut to it once I get it loaded and get everything situated here. Okay.
For over 1,000 generations,
Give me a second.
the
I'll have to skip
Jedi
this
were the
out.
guardians of peace and justice.
Okay. All right. Okay. So before I play this. Before I play this thing, David sent me this, and you know, he wears the NATO strap sometimes, and I don't like the NATO strap the way it has the thing on the side bulging off the side and all that. I just think it's silly, so I just think, why go there? But these Perlon straps are definitely an option, so watch a little bit of this video where he goes to the Perlon strap. There it is. And I'll tell you what I like about this Perlon strap concept is they're very trim. They're very, very thin. So I don't like the way a NATO goes behind the watch and it makes it sit higher on the wrist. It makes the whole watch thicker. But this, because it's so thin, even though it goes behind the watch, just like a NATO, it's so thin, the strap itself, that it doesn't make it very wide. Let me show you something else here. Well, let me show you this right here, how it's sitting on his wrist.
Completely functional still as a dive watch. You can see it adds almost no height to it, which is a great advantage. You know, to dive watches, you know, dive watches tend to be thicker, and so not.
Okay, so I would definitely go with this over a NATO every time. Okay, and let's see this little section right here. Just watch this.
And I think the look is good there. This one I've switched over to the black buckle that matches the black case. So that's kind of cool that you can match the color of the buckle to the color of the watch case.
Now, one thing I want to point out about this as well is both ends are adjustable. So, okay, so the part where you have the clasp, the way that clasp is designed, you can feed the material through and back on itself, and then it's got a keeper, and so you can adjust and affect the overall length of the strap, right? So you can adjust it in such a way that that clasp will definitely be centered underneath your wrist when you put the whole thing on, right? So that's a big plus. So it's very adjustable. Because of the way it's designed, you can, when you put it on, you can buckle it at any point along that strap. It just pokes through the woven nylon. And if this is nylon, nylon's pretty tough stuff, so it'll probably last. And they're probably cheap. You could buy 5 or 6 of them, right? I mean, if it starts getting frayed, you just replace it. Now, would I use something like that on a watch like this? No. The answer is no. No. Somebody emailed me. Oh boy. So, you can't make this stuff up, folks. Somebody emailed me and said I should buy a custom strap for this watch. I should buy a strap. And he mentioned who I should buy it from. I should buy it from some guy, right? A strap for this. And then I should take the original strap and take it off the watch and not use it. Save it. And I'm like, yeah, and like, what am I saving it for? I'm like, I bought the watch to wear, right? And so I'm going to take off this beautiful Alligator. I'm convinced this is Alligator, by the way. They say crocodile on their website, but I think they have no clue what they're talking about. I think it's alligator leather. But anyway, I'm going to take this super comfortable Alligator strap that I really love, and I'm going to put it in the box and like let it sit there for like 10 or 20 years. Like, for what reason? And I can hear him now. oh, well, when you sell the watch, you can get more for the watch if you have the original band in mint condition. I didn't buy the watch to sell it, folks. I bought the watch to wear and enjoy it. It's like the living room furniture I have behind me, right? I could put like plastic covers over that furniture like for 20 years and sit on plastic for 20 years. And then whoever ends up with it, when I die or whatever, can take the plastic off and they've got like a preserved couch, right? Or alternatively, I can just enjoy the couch myself. So that was kind of strange. That was kind of interesting. That kind of shed some light on the thought processes of a lot of these watch people. They're always thinking about when they're going to sell the watch. Have all the box and papers and have everything organized and you can get more for the watch. And I mean, my God, I've got other things to worry about than if I'm going to sell the watch, and if and when I sell the watch, what I'm going to get out of the watch. I mean, I think I have much bigger priorities. But anyway, that's just the way I operate. But there you go. Tom says, Tom's in the house early. He says, hey, bud, to Dave Williams. Didn't know you were a Star Wars fan. I got to get caught up on these things here. Let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. I think I'm getting caught up here. Just give me a moment here. Now, Dave says the dial looks too monochrome for me. So I guess you're talking about the date just. Okay. And Lamont says, was good, Craig. There you go. I think he means what's good. Okay. You are, Lamont. You're in the house. Prawn would be a good choice to wear the gold stunner for the summer, says Cheetown, California. Yeah, I think this strap is going to hold up fine in the summer. We're going to find out because I'm going to wear it. I think it's going to hold up just fine. Let's see here. Lamont in the house. Didn't know you were a Star Wars fan. Tom Austin. And by the way, speaking of straps and changing straps and all that, I've got this this Bergian. I guess it's Bergian, the Swiss-made tool. For changing a strap, right? So how difficult is that? These straps here do not have the little thing that you slide like Patek has, to take the strap off easily without scratching the case. So if I'm going in from underneath and I'm poking this like sharp thing in there, and I'm trying to push the spring bar over to get the strap off, all these people talk about scratching their case, right? I guess you just have to be real careful when you do that to not scratch it. That's another reason why I don't think I should be hasty to take this strap off this watch. I think I should just kind of leave it sit there. And until it starts wearing out and giving trouble, and then I go ahead and replace it. How about that? My gosh, it might not give trouble for the whole rest of my life. It might be fine for like 20 years. We don't know. We don't know when the puppy's going to fail. So let's see. I still, by the way, have not heard from anybody that has a Grand Seiko strap that has worn it out. And I've asked on all the forums. I've asked in the Grand Seiko Owners Club. And one guy bought a watch used that had a strap that had issues. But I've never talked to anybody that bought one new and therefore knew the history of it and had it fall apart on them. So I still would love to hear from somebody on that subject. Lance is in the house. He says, well, Eduardo, which Rolexes do you have? And Perlon wears well because they allow your wrist to breathe and they let the watch lay flat. Leon in the house. Yeah, they look like they would be very comfortable on wrist. Absolutely. Personally detest NATO straps because of how bulky and unbalanced they make the watches. Cheetown. Yeah, so this might be an option. Let's look at this a little more.
So this one you can see the strap is a little bit long. I could adjust that to get less tail on the end of the strap. But even still, because the strap is so flat and thin, it doesn't really add much bulk to the side, even with that extra strap there.
See, he could center that buckle so that the
Like I said, I
buckle's
think one of
more
my
centered
favorite
if he
uses for
wanted
these
to.
straps is with a dress style watch. So something, sort of dressy like this Orient Polaris. I think this is a great summer option for dress watches, to give you something that's breathable, something that's comfortable, that's not going to, cause you any issues with sweat, and yet be able to wear it with a dress watch. I think that's a great look. And yeah, I think that just looks so much better than a NATO strap on dress watches.
See, let me pause this. I don't know why he doesn't center that buckle under his wrist. He could very easily slide it around and center that buckle. So I'm not sure why he's doing that. Maybe he just likes it on the side like that. But you could certainly center that, and it would be very trim. The whole operation would be very trim. Of course, the watch wouldn't sit as close to your wrist as mine is right now, because there's nothing behind the watch now. It's sitting flat right on the wrist, right? So you're still going to gain a little bit of height, but it'd be so small amount of height that it would be negligible on any watch, really. I think that's a much better solution than a NATO. I would absolutely 2 thumbs up that. If you're going to go with a NATO, I would go with this instead. No, it wouldn't even be a close call. Assuming you get a high quality one that's not going to fall apart. And I think he said they come in different quality levels. NATO straps were made to have that extra part under the watch in order to lock the watch so that if you grab the watch the wrong way, it does not slide off the strap and hit the floor. Oh, you mean if it's not on your wrist, you mean? I don't know why you would do that, but anyway. Yeah, I think that's a non-issue. Let's see. David Williams says, I like NATOs, more casual. They don't bother me. I wear all types of straps, really. There you go. David is a strap guy. And Tom says, I've missed a bunch of the live show recently due to time differences. The intervention of Lance, the adventures of Kyle in Venice Beach, doubling of Wrench Gang, the rise of Lamont. He missed all of that. Well, he's got to catch up. Eduardo, I sent you an email. Okay. My dad hooked up with a new Lincoln Navigator 2020. Slided me one of the keys, y'all. Okay. Got it. There you go. He's going to be profiling in a new Lincoln. Lamont's going to be in high cotton. Okay, Stig in the house. Carlos, please fill us in about your situation in Panama. How are you, and are you so sad that you only wear your yellow watch? Yeah, and if you want to Skype in to give us a live report, Carlos, absolutely Skype in. And let's see, my dad loves that car as well, Lamont. Congrats. But you don't have a license. Carlos, here, still the same. Maybe this week we will have a change. Feeling a bit of claustrophobia, but no complaints. Well, yeah, you got to go out. All you have to do is walk out and take a dive in the pool to solve that, Carlos. You got it really tough down there, I'll tell you. Would Perlon look good on the 231 GS? I don't know why not. I think it would be fine. Yeah. You could do a black one. Yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't. I love that factory strap. I mean, that factory bracelet is awesome. So I'd have no reason to do that deal unless my bracelet like failed or something broke on it or something like that. Then you could always go that way. Let's see. Leon says the GS crowd is funny like that. A lot will not wear them a lot because they're afraid of ruining the polish. I, for one, buy to wear, and I already scratched the latest GS I bought in April. Oh, well. Leon in the house. Absolutely. My goodness, yes, I wear my watches. Leon, my 005 has dings on it as well, says David. That's right. You buy these things to use, to wear and use. They still look great even after some dings, let's face it. Just look at Bill Gates. He doesn't take the factory strap off his Casio. and he doesn't store it in a bank safe. He understands the bigger picture. I guess. Leon's in the house, though. He says if you go and get a Puron, get one from Glockwork Synergy. They are a local Maryland business that makes a good strap. Oh, wow, that's interesting to know. They should Skype into the show sometime. Lance in the house, he says, those are two beautiful watches. I like how you have one with the Oyster bracelet and one with the Jubilee. Are you talking about these two? The 5-link bracelet on the left, on the 231, is a slightly more upscale bracelet that they put on some of the more upscale watches. And I like it. It does give a little bit of extra bling to the watch. I like both, though. I like the simple Oyster that's on the 005. So I do like both, but I do like that little extra, little bit of bling from that 5-link bracelet. Oh, let's see here. I'm with you. Center that buckle. He might like it like that and probably has a crooked smile too. Willie in the house. We know the gold and leather stunner is cool, but how much cooler would it be in stainless steel with a rubber strap you have to cut with scissors? That's a good one. Eduardo's in the house. Lance, thanks. Once the date comes in, I'll show the entire collection. I really like vintage watches, but box and papers are important to me. I don't blame you for that. Save your pennies to fill the gas tank, Lamont. There you go. We'll use the dad's credit card for that. Gas prices are low anyway now. Triforce Rich says, Lance, do you have a passport? Need to start making arrangements to go see Carlos to get that Explorer. Lots of labor and Spanish discipline awaits you. Triforce Switch, lots of labor. Okay. Prepare for a tough boot camp, Lance. No, I'm talking about Eduardo's watches. Okay. Clockwork Synergy is a good strap company. I have purchased several from them in the past. I guess he meant past, P-A-S-T. Yeah, he made a correction there. And Triforce Rich says, also, Lance, Craig is always looking for extra help. If you're willing to intern for 3 to 4 months at about 60 to 80 hours a week, Craig will give you his 005. I'll tell you what, the boot camp here is tough. When folks come here for the boot camp, it's tough business. So, yeah, the first task will be going to the Gatun Lake, catch a live crocodile, and study about those hairs and the scales. Yeah. In case you don't know the reference, Craig, I am taking cheap shots at Patek Aquanaut. Yeah, I've heard about that. That's how you adjust that strap. Yeah, I've heard about that. Triforce Rich, I would love to own an 005. Well, there you go. There's one right there on the table. That's right there. That's an 005. That's your opportunity. And I'll tell you, that one's in really good shape. I have not worn that watch very much. And every time I wore it, I was wearing it for dress purposes. So I don't think it has a mark on it anywhere. It has not been through a lot of heavy use like that 231 next to it has been through. But I'll tell you, the 231 next to it is in pretty good shape too, considering. I mean, it is really held up well. Somebody said they had a snowflake, and it's got a lot of scratches and all. I mean, like maybe. I guess you can do it, but mine, I had a snowflake for a short period of time, and it held up pretty good, but I didn't have it that long, so I can't really speak to long-term. Reliability. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm continuing to research the subject, but my conclusion thus far is that I think this original strap that came on my 002 Stunner is going to hold up pretty well. I don't think I'm going to have any kind of issues with this at all. I'm trying to get that in focus. I think it's going to. I think it's going to be just fine. And I think even if I get out in the humidity some days and stuff like that and get a little bit of sweat on it or something, I think it's going to be fine. That's my impression at this point, and I will find out. Just like we're going to find out how accurate this puppy is after a week or so. We're going to check the accuracy and see what's going on there. Somebody said it's not going to be anywhere near as accurate as my 231. I got lucky with the 231. Well, we'll see. We'll find out. We'll find out live on the channel what is going on with the accuracy. And hey, Craig, I just sent you a pic of old shoes I'm going to sell. I got them as a gift. Don't know what they're worth. Should I put them up on auction or buy it now price? If so, how much? All right, we'll take a look. Let's see. I know this Mercedes 450 SEL 6.3 that Craig talked about lately. It takes 100. Okay, so here's the thing. It was a 300 SEL 6.3 that I had, not 450. It was a 300 SEL 6.3. Now, when they later came out with the 6.9 engine, that was in the 450 series body. But it just said, I think it just said 6.9 on the back. I don't think it said 450 SEL, if I remember correctly, because my boss had one. He bought one of those new back in the day, something like 1978 or 76, 77, somewhere in there. Actually, I think that was, now that I think about it, I think that was 1976, because that was before I was selling cars. I worked for International Sales Limited, and that's really where I learned how to do sales. That guy was a genius, and yeah, he bought one of those new. He had a 6.9 Mercedes new. So that was pretty wild. I think the 003 and 005 are Little Treasury's best sellers. They could be. I think he said, though, the Snowflake is his #1 seller. Probably so. They have to restock those consistently. By the way, Craig, I spoke to ID Guy, who is a design professional, and he is going to analyze your 002 next week on his live stream. Very nice guy. Yeah, but if he doesn't have one in person, it's going to be very difficult, because you really have to see him in person. You can't. I was blown away when I saw the watch in person, and I'd seen every video. I'd seen everything. And I'm telling you, it was just like, oh my gosh, when I saw it in person. So I don't know how he's possibly, unless he got his hands on one, I don't know how he's possibly going to do anything. Okay, I have no idea what those shoes are worth. They look like they're in nice shape. I'm guessing they're Italian. I don't know. Yeah, you just got to research comparables and see. Shoes are hard to sell on eBay because people are always concerned whether or not they're going to fit or not. And so, and some people just have a phobia about buying used shoes. So they're tricky to sell. I did sell my Gucci's on eBay and got a pretty good price for them, because I just wasn't wearing my Gucci's anymore. And so I did sell those on there, and they sold pretty well. But, yeah, I don't know what those would go for at all. So, let's see what else we got going on here. Okay, I read that one. I assume that the Déployant Clasp will preserve the strap much better. Well, we certainly won't have that flex problem where you flex it on a normal clasp. That problem is solved, but it wouldn't solve any problems with regard to sweat and other issues, sunlight, sun damage, other things that people claim destroys the straps. But it's just like these people that say that the 18 karat gold watches are soft as butter and stuff. I mean, they're not really as soft as butter. I don't know where they get that. So yeah, I think some of these things are exaggerated a little bit, just a little bit. Let's see. I don't think you will either with that strap, Craig. The constant flexing of the band when putting through a buckle wears them out. You have a deployment strap, so you should be fine, says Leon. Okay. 450 SEL 6.9 is the 70s one. Yeah, his was, I think it was 1976. Maybe you guys can check. Let's check it here real quick. Mercedes 6.9. Let's see what year they made them, because they didn't make them for that many years. And it didn't, by the way, it did not say 450 SEL on the back. It just said like 6.9, I believe. Okay, so here it is. Okay, 1975 to 81. Wow, I didn't know they made them that long. Yeah, so it was around 1976 that he would have bought his. And let's see if there are any pictures of the back. Oh, here's one. Here's a picture of the back. You're going to see here. See, it just has 6.9 on the back and no 450 SEL. That one would glue you to the seat. It absolutely would glue you to the seat. I drove his several times, and it would glue you to the seat. It wasn't quite as fast as the 6.3 that I had after that. I actually had the 6.3 around 1980 or so. I think it was a little bit faster, but they were close. Let's see here. Have you ever driven a 600 Grosser Pullman? No, I've seen them, and I knew people that have had them, and they're pretty amazing. They are pretty amazing with the hydraulic windows and all that. Pretty amazing critters. And they had the 6.3 liter engine in them. So yeah, they were pretty much all that. A lot heavier, of course, than the 300 SEL. So they weren't as fast as the 300 SEL, but they were pretty much all that. Let's see here. I don't wear them only Chuck Taylors. Okay. Sold 2 Citizens on eBay in 2 days. Actually made money on one of them after wearing it for 3 years. Cool. Do you still have that Italian knife for sale, Craig? Yes. Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I think it's right over there. Let me grab it. Dun, 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 dun. I think this is walnut, this box. It might not be. I think it's walnut, though. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but it could be walnut. But there's the piece. And this is actually the gentleman that I got it from. And it's really nice. It's, it's forged. It's not stamped. And very, very solid. Very solid. I mean, it's like a vault, like a bank vault. The whole thing is milled or forged or whatever terms you want to use. Super nice. Super, super nice. Very, very, very well made. These usually, knives like these are usually real chintzy. They're not made that well, right? I mean, they're disposable knives, right? They're designed to kill somebody and throw it away or whatever, right? But this one is just really, really well done. Really solid. Solid piece. Only reason I bought it. So, but I never use it, you know, so why keep it around? Why keep it around? I carry the Sabenza. Don't carry that. So let's set that over here. So, yes, I do have it sitting right here. And let's see here. I bought some used shoes from a guy in Brisbane. Weird stains on them. Yuck. Uh-oh, you got to be careful. Be served. Good luck with the sale. Where were they carpet beetle stains? Selling, I mean, okay. Be served. What size are the shoes? Possibly served 11. And of course, that's what I wear, size 11. And Carlos is in the house, and he retracted that one. And Bree says, hope everyone's doing good. The lovely Bree Fit Dance. Well, she should Skype into the show sometime and say hi. She's been missing in action for a while as far as a live appearance. She pops in and out of the chat. And her website is BreeFitDance.com. BreeFitDance.com, and there are links down the page. You can become a patron and help support her content creativity. Content creators need support these days. They need support these days, folks, so that they can keep doing their thing. They have bills to pay too. So there you go. Let's see what else we got here. BreeFit Dance, what do you think is nicer, a Rolex Day-Date Yellow Gold or Craig's Grand Seiko 002? And Bree says, hi, Carlos. Those knives are illegal in Canada, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they're illegal in a lot of places. Jaden V, gorgeous knife. BreeFit Dance says 002. Oh, so she likes the 002 Stunner. We'll wait until she sees it in person. She'll really be blown away. Lance is in the house, and he says, at BreeFit Dance, I agree. Are you selling that knife, Craig Busef? Yes, I'm selling it. Yes, I would be happy to sell it. Yes. I think I said $120 shipped, which is actually a good buy for that piece. I think that's what I said last time we talked about it. So there you go. If I go to Sicily this summer, I can sell it there. I think they like that style. Okay. Good evening, Lady Brianna. How are you? Says Stig. See, Stig is treating the lady with respect. I like that. That's right. That's what you do. Triforce Rich says, meeting with your mafia friends over in Sicily. Carlos in motion making deals happen. That's right. That's right. You got to make those deals happen. Stig, I'm doing great. Thank you. And you. Okay. What a lucky pizza, says Buserv. I'll tell you, it was a good pizza. They have some good pizza there at Adventure Park, USA. That was good pizza. I had a slice too. Carlos says, if I can, I will visiting my brother in Malta, and I will go some days to Sicily to close some deals. Somebody needs some special training first. Okay, there you go. I think he meant Lance. Lance might be able to, be the muscle in the deal. How much did the knife retail for? That's a good question. I have no idea. This was a limited edition. I didn't buy it new. I bought it from this guy. I bought it at a blade show, knife show down in Florida, and he had an asking price on it, and I offered him cash, and he took my offer. And I just liked it. I just liked how well made it was. It's not like I needed it or anything. But anyway, let's see. It's 2008, and this is number 88 of 100, limited edition. They made 100 pieces in 2008. So, I mean, you might find a comparable. It's made by DUE, second word, BUOI. So D-U-E is the first word, B-U-O-I in Italy. That's who made it. So maybe you can find some comparables or something similar to it. But I'll tell you, it's in nice condition. It's pretty much mint condition. Okay. And as you know, if I don't use things, they go. They are put on the block. But I'm not like actively trying to sell it. It's not on eBay or anything like that. I do have to be careful here in Maryland trying to actively sell something like that because I don't think you're allowed to sell switchblade knives in Maryland. So, yeah, hopefully whoever buys it will be out of state and I won't have that issue to deal with, but who knows. Let's see. Carlos says, okay, you already read that one. Malta, great tax residents. Eduardo, if you carry a knife like that in Denmark, you will do 1 year time in prison. I think a lot of parts of Europe, I think probably England, they'd probably throw you in the hooshgal. I think pocket knives, anything over like a 3-inch blade, I think they'd put you in the hooshgal. I don't think it even has to be a switchblade. Craig, you and your knife versus Dogman and the dog of his choice in a gladiator arena battle to the death. Who are you taking to win? Well, first, unfortunately, in a situation like that, I'd have to take the dog out right away, right? And which I don't want to do. I don't want to have to take out a dog. So I think it would not be good to have the dog involved. I don't want to have to kill a dog. Let's see. Jaden in the house says $59 PPV. I don't know what that means. I don't know what PPV is. I'm not hip. Craig would win. The Dogman is too weak, says Lance. Dogman may have attack dogs. Just say it's a box of chocolates, Muserve. That's what I'm saying, Muserve. He definitely bring an attack dog. Can Craig handle it? Yeah, dogs can be killed. I mean, but you don't want to have to do that. Craig, do B-U-O-I. No, it says, it's, for crying out loud. It's, D-U-E-B-U-O-I. So here. Okay. Got it? Got it? You got it. Nice piece. Really nice piece. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I would be worried of a little dog trained to bite when it hurts the most. Do you mean where it hurts the most? Yeah, he put where in there. Yeah, that's why you got to kill them before they get close to you. You got to take them out, before they get a chance to do that. Actually, that's what I could use a Sebenza for. Whoa! Just take them right out. Be ashamed to have to do that, though. So there you go. Dogman would run out in 5 seconds. Yeah, he would punk out. He's kind of a punk. Eduardo, Craig, are you into firearms like simpler ones, shotguns, etc.? I can't talk about that on the channel here. Let's not get this channel banned. But suffice it to say, this area is heavily defended. I'm in a very secure location. Let's put it that way. Very secure. And I think if Brianna's still hanging around in the chat, I think she can attest to that. Let's see what else here. Let's see. In California, folding knives are legal to conceal carry as long as they are not automatic and over 3-inch blade length. Longer than that or fixed, then you have to open carry. Okay, so I open carry my Sebenza. I don't know what they mean by open carry. Is if they can see the sheath on your belt, is that considered open carry? I would think that would be considered open carry if it's in a sheath on your belt. That's how I carry my Sebenza. Lady Brianna, not too bad here, thank you. I feel sorry for your situation right now, but keep your head up. What situation is that? You mean being locked down? Yeah. Let's see. You serve Craig. I sent you an email about the knife. I want first dibs. Well, I won't read it then on the channel if you're trying to do a deal. Let me see what he's trying to do. I'm down to buy that watch you featured on the show. Let me know. Wait, you said watch. You mean knife. You mean knife, don't you? Okay. So let's see. Craig, it's on the knife. Translate to 2 oxen from Italian to English. Must be the knife brand name. Oh, okay. No killing of dogs. Hypnotize it with the 002. Yeah, I could go like this, and it would just like freeze. Yeah. Actually, they would probably both freeze. The dog man would be totally mesmerized. It would be the first time he'd seen a decent watch in person, right? And he would probably just be like totally mesmerized. Yeah, that would work. That would freeze them both right in their tracks. At Bree, where did you get your Grand Seiko pen from? Let's see. Open carry means you can't conceal the sheath or handle. So if they can see the sheath clearly, then you're good. Okay. Hello at Crappy. Anyway, I don't care. I'm going to carry mine, and they can, do what they're going to do. But I'm carrying mine. I'm defiant. Triforce Rich is in the house. Craig, if Dogman was rude to Brianna in front of you, what would you do? Or, for example, he made rude comments in her stream. Well, if it's her live stream, then that's up to her. I mean, I don't adjudicate her live stream, but if he was stupid enough to come in here and make a dumb comment, then he'd get hit with the wrench. I mean, that's anybody is going to be hit with the wrench. Now, if he made a rude comment to Brianna in front of me, I mean, first of all, it would be very bizarre that he was in my presence because I don't hang around with total losers. So just the fact that he was in my presence would be problematic. It would mean that he's coming into my space because I wouldn't come into his space. So if he was in my space, it would probably not end well for him. Would be the way I would look at that. Because, yeah, total losers are not invited into my space. And if somebody comes into my space uninvited, that's usually not a good situation. Let's see here. The dog man buys too many steel Rolexes. Well, that's probably all he can afford. And his credit cards, are up to their limit and all. He probably only affords so many, watches, period. And then he thinks he can do better with buying steel. But I think that's a serious mistake when you buy a whole bunch of steel watches. I think, buy one steel watch and then save up and get a nice gold stunner. I mean, what the heck? Why wouldn't he do that? The answer is he probably doesn't buy the watches to wear. He buys them to have something to show off on the internet, and everybody wants to see steel stunners these days. So he's going with the flow. Good luck selling them when the time comes. Let's see. Lance is in the house. He should step up to a GS gold stunner. There you go. Craig, what do you think of Dogman's two-tone white dial Sky Dweller? I'm not a fan of the Sky Dweller. I think it's too thick. I would much rather sell that and buy a Date 8. Would be what I would do. how much is that worth? Could he get like 14 or 15,000 for it? If he could, my gosh, that's state 8 money. He could buy a 18238 in nice condition for that. Yeah, I think it's just very poor judgment. He's got guy's got no taste. Why don't you want a GS at Lance? Okay. That scenario is highly unlikely to ever happen. No point dwelling on it, folks. Mark would never mark his territory around Craig. Tom Austin, I do like GS, but they only make 2 watches that I would buy, the 005 and the SBGW 251. Lance in the house. Well, good taste. The 005 is a stunner and very versatile. I mean, when David put that strap on it with the deployant clasp, I was amazed. It just changed the whole watch into just a whole nother look. It was pretty amazing, that transformation. Let's find that again. Let me see if I can pull that up. And let's see here, 005. Give me a moment here to try to find this photo. It's taking a sweet time. All right. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I'm going to find the photo set here of the 005 Stunner Alert. Oh, and we're going to wrap this puppy up. We've been going more than an hour, folks. Here's the 005 Stunner photo set. This is on my Flickr, so you guys can check it out. And by the way, I love the way this thing pops in the sun. Look at this dial in the sun. Look at this. Let's max that out. Look at that. How stunning is that? Look at that dial. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? I mean, like I've said in the past, folks, I measure 7 times and cut once. I don't buy a piece if it's not amazing. And here is the Davester with it on wrist with that strap. I mean, it just transforms the whole watch. And that is cool. See the difference? It just makes it like a whole nother piece. It's such a versatile piece. I have to say that could be the most versatile watch, period. In the I'll say in the price range. Obviously, a date 8 is very versatile, right? But it's a lot more money. But in that price range, let's say around $3,000, I don't think you can buy a high-end watch, do everything watch that is more stunning than that. Okay, let's see here. Lance, I have an 005. It's fantastic. If I was your age, I would be drawn to the 9F for sure, says Tom in the house. My brother-in-law has a full rose gold Sky Dweller and white gold Date 82. I tell him he needs yellow gold and a watch that isn't a brick. He will not listen. Yeah, and the Date 82 is kind of ugly. They ruined the proportions on that. That's kind of like a fail for the Date 8 line. He got the worst of the worst there. Leon Lance, start with a nice entry-level SBGX 261. It's a great all-around watch. Just ask Kyle. Yeah, but probably for not much more money, he could probably buy an 005, used. So he might want to do that. Let's see. I want to buy a Rolex first before I get a GS, says Lance. Well, I would get one or the other. I don't think you need to get both. Yes, 005, quite versatile. Highly recommend at Tom Austin. Likely would agree. Craig, I have to agree. I have one Submariner, and that is enough Rolex for me. Yes, absolutely. 9F Stunner, that 261. Try looking forward to hear about your brother-in-law, a gift to your wedding. Craig, if you're in the market for Datejust 41, how would you configure it, as in two-tone, dial color, etc.? I would just get a Jubilee bracelet with a white gold fluted bezel and call it a day. But I think the 41 is a little bit on the big side. Unless you got a big wrist. If you got a pretty big wrist, then I think you could pull it off. But I think it's a little bit on the big side for a watch like that. Just saying. By the way, Carlos's day date is just like yours, Roman numerals, white gold. Yeah, but a day date too, the case is not as good. Nice, he has good taste on that, Carlos says. Lance, I would rush to get a Rolex if you're still a teenager, in my opinion, but I know what you mean. A Rolex will feel like an achievement. Yes, I wouldn't rush to get it. Okay. Yellow gold, 36 millimeter, and either champagne white or black dial is the way to go. Personally, I'll get champagne or white, no Roman numerals, stick dial, lume. There you go. Joey says, what's that strap on the 005, the brown one? What's the name, brand, or website to buy? Joey says, in the house. That's an actual Grand Seiko strap, and they do have them on eBay, Joey. If you search Grand Seiko 19 millimeter, they call it a crocodile strap, but I'm pretty sure it's alligator, but they call it crocodile. So just search on eBay Grand Seiko 19 millimeter crocodile strap, and there's a seller there that comes up. I think they're in North Carolina, and they have different colors. They have the brown, the black. There was even a guy selling one in dark blue. But then you're going to have to buy the Déployant Clasp separately. He bought the Déployant Clasp from Steve at Little Treasury, because these straps don't come with the clasp if you buy them on eBay. I think they're $170. I'm just roughly 176 or so, I don't know, somewhere in that price range. So they're reasonably priced for what they are. They're actual Grand Seiko straps. So that's where David bought his. So check it out. Let's see, what dial color would you get for the Datejust, Craig? I like the white dial. Silver dial's okay. They have a lot of good dial combinations for those. Let's see. Vintage Datejust 36 silver dial oyster bracelet. Try would go sticks on 36. Okay. Got my Rolex. Okay, got it. There we go. In my opinion, the 002 doesn't work perfectly for dress situation because of that sporty bezel. Oh, no. This is very dressy. Oh, absolutely, you're wrong on that. This thing is stunning for a dress watch. Very understated elegance, just class, just pure, unadulterated class. When it's a little bit under the cuff and just kind of peeking out, and you see that the beautiful shape of that case and the beautiful crown. Oh my gosh, it's stellar. So yes, you would be wrong on that one, BU Serve. Craig, be honest, if you were transported back to your 20s again, you'd get a day date over the 002, and you know why. Well, yeah, no, I would get the day date back then because it would be an all-arounder, an everyday, all-the-time watch, and I think that is a better choice for an all-the-time watch. I think you could push this into an all-the-time watch, but you'd be kind of pushing it in. This is more of a dress watch, let's face it. So yeah, for an all-arounder, the day date. I've told you guys many times on the channel, the only reason I sold mine is I couldn't read it very well anymore. So I stopped wearing it. And when I'm not wearing the watch, I don't keep it. I don't keep a watch in a box somewhere. So yes, if I'm younger with good eyes, with real strong eyes and all that, my gosh, yes, I'd wear a day date. I've recommended a day date to many people many times on this channel. So why would that be a surprise? Now, with my eyes the way they are now, I like this bigger dial. This is more legible to me, and I'm not married to wearing this all the time as an all-arounder. It's kind of a when I want to, and when I want something really legible, I've got the 231 right there, ready to go. So, for me, I've got a perfect mix. And for somebody that wants more of a dress watch, I think this is much more elegant than a day date for dress purposes. I think it absolutely trumps the day date for that purpose, but not as an all-around, all-the-time watch. Absolutely the day date is a beauty for that purpose, especially in 18238. Okay, let's wrap it up here. Okay, the 005. I have a 116233 stunner. Okay. I wear my 16710 with suits, not a dress watch, but I can get away with it. Be serve may have meant your GS GMT, not the 002. Well, the GMT, okay, I mean, but we've talked about this too. We've talked about all these things, folks. The GMT is a compromise watch. It's small enough to use as a dress watch because it's 38.5 mils and it's only about 12 mils thick. So it can be forced into a dress watch situation, but it's certainly not an ideal dress watch. And it can be used as a sport watch, and it can be used as a travel watch. And so it's kind of an all-around compromise piece, but it's not a power watch. It's not a deal-making watch like a Date 36. Oh my gosh, a Date 36 is a power play watch. I mean, it's a whole different ball game. Let's see, Cliff Dweller, wow, that GS looks great. I've missed some of the recent broadcast. Give it one more close-up. Congrats and enjoy. Okay, we'll give it a close-up. Oh, there you go. And like I say, the white balance isn't perfect on these cameras. You really have to see these things in person. The gold really pops. Let's see. Stick to the discussion, folks. Has been close to that knife in the throat. Okay. I wear an Aura 65 42 millimeter on the bracelet. Okay. 005 is the perfect travel watch. No compromises in that regard, says Tom in the house. I would wrench you for that if I could, Carlos. That GS you're wearing looks great. Okay. Kayleen in the house. Yep. Gold stunner. Yes. Let's see. I am reading a book on American presidents, and you see JFK on his yacht with probably a 34 millimeter tank watch. What happened? How come I lost that? It went away. Okay. All right, we're going to wrap this puppy up. I'm getting hungry. Hungry. There's that picture of those stunners. Stunner alert. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Craig, how are you finding the winding of the 002 every so often? I try to wind it every day just so I don't forget. When you get it up towards where it's getting up towards fully wound, it gets harder to wind it. You can feel it getting harder to wind it. And I wind it all the way up to where it stops, where it doesn't allow me to wind it anymore. I have not read the manual. I'm hoping I'm not doing any damage to it by doing that. I'm guessing that that's fine to do, but that's what I do. I just wind it up until it stops. I don't even look at the power reserve on the back. I just wind it up until I can't wind it anymore, and I try to do that every day. It's got a 72-hour power reserve, so if I miss a day, I'm still fine. But it's not really bothering me to have to wind it. I do remember to do it, and I do it. And it's kind of fun to wind it. So I think I can live with that. R Wags is in the house. He says stunner alert on Craig's wrist. There you go. Craig, thanks, Craig. Hold that Bitcoin. Oh, you can bet I'm going to hold my Bitcoin. You know, what's funny about this is after you've gone through several cycles and a couple of the Bitcoin halvings, we had one 4 years ago, and after you've gone through, now this is actually the second halving that I'm going through because I got in around 2013. I had some a little before that, but I really got in around 2013, and the other halving was in 2012. And so, but I've gone through several pumps and big crashes, pumps and big crashes. I mean, several times. And now it's like old hat. It's like you don't even think about it. You just say, oh, I'm not selling anything. I'm just holding, right? I mean, it's like you don't even, the first few times you're like, you don't know what to do. And you're like, you try to make some moves. You try to say, oh, I'm going to sell a little bit of here and then buy it back here. And, you know, when I first started playing with it, and then I met Adam Meister in 2013, and he was the one that just said, hey, don't try to time the market. Don't try to play with buying it low and selling it high and all this kind of stuff. Just buy it and hold it, and don't worry about it. And then that's when I really started just doing that. And then from that point forward, I'm totally relaxed. It doesn't bother me one bit what it does. It can go up as much as it wants, go down as much as it wants. It just doesn't bother me. I just keep adding to my stack and ride it out. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold, and the halving is in what, 7 days? Something like 7 days. Exciting. And I think we might have a little pullback after the halving. You know, sell the news type thing. So I think there might be a little pullback. I think we could see 7,000, maybe 8,000, somewhere in that range of pullback. And then I think later this year, towards the end of the year, I think we might start seeing some kind of a run. It might not be until 2001 sometime, but I think we're going to see a run. I think it's going to be exciting times. Okay, and somebody says, honestly, Craig, that 002 looks better every stream. You have something special there, but I'm young and I need my day date. Triforce Rich, I don't blame you. Right? Right, we, the young people, enjoy day date more. What do you mean by the halving? Oh my goodness, if you don't know about Bitcoin and the halving, you should research it. I have a link on my channel, on my website, CraigShipp.com. Pull down the menu and click on Bitcoin. But here's what happens. Every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin that is created every 10 minutes, the miners that process the transactions of Bitcoin, they create the new Bitcoin. And it's created every 10 minutes. There's a new block on the chain. And they create, right now, 12.5 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. That's how new Bitcoin are added into the system. And they will do this until they reach 21 million total Bitcoin. Okay, so, but every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin that is created in that 10 minutes during that block, it's roughly 10 minutes. Doesn't have to be exactly 10 minutes, but it's roughly 10 minutes. The number that's created is cut in half. That is why they call it the Bitcoin halving. So it's going to go from 12.5 down to 6.25 Bitcoin in about 7 days, 6-7 days. So literally, the amount of new Bitcoin being created is going to be cut in half. And so if you know anything about supply and demand, if the demand stays the same, and really the demand is increasing, by the way. Worldwide demand of Bitcoin is continuing to increase. But let's say it just stayed the same. If it just stayed the same, the price has to go up because the amount that's being created is less, right? And then 4 years later, they'll cut it in half again. And so every 4 years, they will cut the amount that's created in half. That's called the Bitcoin halving. And that was designed that way on purpose to continue to create more and more demand for it and to drive the price higher and higher. So where most currencies lose value, Bitcoin over the years has gained value. So that's what has happened with Bitcoin. Not financial advice on this channel, but just kind of giving you the backstory of what's going on. Let's see here. Does not deserve the honor of Blue does not deserve the honor of wearing Craig's watch. Okay, the 002 is sacred, says Lance. All right, well, they're rare. I can tell you they're rare. All right, I'm going to wrap this puppy up. I thank you all. I thank you all for tuning in. And we will do it again. Click subscribe and click the little bell.